Welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe round of 16. We're on day 3 of 4. We've just got a little bit of time before we get into our winners' game. So I thought it'd be nice to check in with your creations that you've been making on social media because, frankly speaking, you guys are brilliant. I know we give you plenty of ammunition, you know, like dropping stuff and what have you, and therefore you come up with these great memes, but you have excelled yourself this evening. So we've given you your own little segment. I have to say, some of these are absolutely brilliant. We'll start off with just showing you a couple of these whilst the players get set up. You're not missing any of the action, by the way, and we're not delaying the show. They are literally setting up right now, so we've just got a chance to show you some fun stuff. First one is this one. Let's just show you this as MaNa comes into the picture. That's good stuff. How are you doing?
I'm pretty fine.
Yeah, you're supposed to be setting up.
Oh. Well, I guess I should go then.
Go set up.
Cheers.
See what I mean? Can't get the staff. Can't get the players at all. Anyway, first one is ready. Throw this one up on the screen. There we go. Look at that. Thank you, Nicholas, for that one. It's very nice. I like that a lot. Okay, good. Okay, some more? You want some more? Yeah? Okay, drop that one off and then I'll have a look and see if we can... Actually, there's quite a few on here, to be fair. Let me find... I quite like this one for Apollo. I don't think he will, though. Not a sound drops in the studio. Not a pin drop could be heard. Nothing at all. It fell on deaf ears. But it's okay. We've also got a couple of others of... Kalaris has been a popular member of the meme club for a while, it has to be said. But... Oh, yeah. I don't know. Did someone just say what the in the crowd? I think maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they said back there. But I'm sorry, Kalaris. They forced it upon me. They just keep putting it on the screen. I've also got one more, which if I can find it is absolutely epic. This one is. I'm actually going to get a mouse pad from somewhere. I'm going to steal it from the cupboard and I'm going to get some players to sign it. I'm going to send you one for this because this is brilliant. Boss first. Boss first. It's brilliant. Look at it. That is so good. That could almost be a packet of Boss first with the Boss toss right on there as well. And he loves meat. So it's genius. It's absolutely genius. I love that. Right, okay, enough of the nonsense. Let's get on with the serious stuff. Ben's over here waiting for me. We like to have a bit of fun at WCS. I'm sure you understand. Mm-hmm. No?
I do understand.
He's just looking in disbelief. He's like, I have no idea what is going on in this show right now. Anyway, back to the serious stuff. Let's check in with the brackets right now and show you where we are. If you haven't already seen them or you've missed any of the action so far, we're going to spoil it for you right now by showing you that MaNa and First are advancing through to the upper bracket final. Golden has just beaten Grubby, who for the second consecutive season has gone out at the round of 16 stage. Real shame for Grubby, Ben.
Huge shame for Grubby, and you could see the disappointment in his face after both the series that he lost. The series against MaNa, very, very close, nail-biting, macro games, but then against Golden, just one little mistake in that second game. It was going so well for him, and you could really see that those kind of mistakes don't happen very often, but when you play against a player of Golden's caliber, when they do happen, they just totally stomp on you for it.
Yeah, we said it earlier on tonight, and I think we've said it a few times this week. One mistake can cost you a series. Never a truer word said when it comes to that last one. We're going to get into the map vetoes shortly. For the birthday boy first, who is 21 today, and the 20-year-old MaNa. It's hard to believe, Ben, that MaNa is still only 20 years of age. He's been around forever.
I only just found out that he's 20 years old, and yeah, very young guy. And the other guy, 21 too, just today. But yeah, going into this series, this is really hard. And this was one of the series that people thought, this is the most predictable one for the winners match. But First, he's looking unstoppable right now. He really is.
Yeah, interestingly, they've only played each other once before. It was a 2-0 win for First as well. Not that we can take a great deal of that, but Ligulac rankings do sort of reveal a little bit different. Ranked 31st in the world right now, First, which I think is a bit low for him.
When you take into account that he's kind of been off the radar for a while, like he was doing very well in Korea, then he moved over. The only real tournament I've seen him in is, well, I saw him at a few take tournaments, but he was missing at Home Story Cup. He's been missing at a few things, but there's so many good players in that ranking. Even if you are 31st, you can say you're definitely one of the best players in the world. And here, he's looking strong.
And when it comes to WCS points right now, we said that MaNa's got a lot of work to do to get himself out of trouble. He's just on the cusp at the moment in 50th position, and only the top 16 go to the global finals. First right now is ranked 77th in WCS point. He needs a massive tournament this time round.
He certainly does, but the way that he's going, and Protoss is looking very strong here. And what's his best matchup?
First right now, by far, PvP, absolutely by a long way. It's like 68% right overall. It's 70% in his last few games. So he really is on fire when it comes to PvP. PvZ was his second best, and he was always going to miss a Terran in this group. So he was always going to be the favourite statistically.
Well, if there's a tournament for him to win, given that's his best matchup, this looks like it could be the one. There's so many Protosses, and with that info, MaNa can't be looking too happy. But MaNa's a very confident guy, and he did very well against Grubby. The one disadvantage that MaNa has, though, is first got to see how he played. So it's going to be a close series.
They've both had a break now. Both had time to chill down. I noticed that the Grubby fan is actually on the MaNa desk right now. So that's something borrowed.
That could do him a lot of help, I think. Keeping cool, keeping calm under pressure and such. And
it's much cooler today, but it's still warm in here. I mean, and we do everything obviously can with the air conditioning. It doesn't feel like it sometimes with jackets on, but yesterday and the day before were murderous in terms of heat. Todd suffered a lot. Obviously, he doesn't like the heat, and I think felt he struggled, a lot on day one. Yesterday, the same thing. Players just falling over. They're really, really hot down there. Even MC said he was warm, and he doesn't ever complain about warmth. Not much we can do other than the fact that the weather's 34 degrees outside, so it's tough. But it does seem a bit cooler today somehow.
It certainly does. Maybe it's Grubby's fan that he brought along, it's helping out the whole studio. But yeah, quite a few players were susceptible to the heat. Even Snoot said, he couldn't really deal with it very well. And he's a Norwegian, so...
I was going to say...
he's not used to temperatures above 10 degrees.
Exactly. He's Norwegian.
But here, MaNa, looking pretty good, actually. He's never a guy that looks unfazed by anything, so... And always looks very solid.
Yeah, unlike the cameraman there who's phased by something. I don't know what. There was a fly going around him or what there. But yeah, he's nice and comfortable, settling into his chair right now. As you saw, he's 1-0 up against, or 1-0 down against first in the head-to-head. He's not going to matter about that right now, as doesn't really care. I mean, he'll have looked at stuff that's happened. He'll have looked at his game. He'll try and be working out what he thinks he might do.
Whatever's happened in the past is the past. If you win one tournament, as soon as you're off the stage accepting your trophy, there's a new tournament to happen. So it really doesn't matter what's happened in the past. MaNa can go into this saying, hey, I'm doing well so far. I took out Grubby. If I lose this, I'm against Golden. It's not going to be easy no matter which route I take. And yeah, the game against First, I can't remember them playing, so it must have happened a while ago.
Yeah, no, it was a while ago. It was in Heart of the Swarm at the very beginning, but it's kind of a very distant past right now. You can see that he's 8-4 against Protoss, very good scoreline, and 6-2 in WCS 2014. Obviously, he's not played in the Korean version this year. Didn't even play in the Challenger either. So last year rather. Different kettle of fish. He was in Challenger in Season 1. He was then 5th in Season 2, 3rd, 4th in the Season 2 finals, which is semi-finals. Many people forget that, the Bomber Jaedong story was dominant in that Season 2 final. And some people forget that he did a really good job of making the semi-finals. And then round of 32 was his other result last year in Korea. Again, take nothing away from him. He finished 5th in Korea in the GSL or Code S or WCS or whatever it's called. It's a massive achievement.
He's a very, very strong player. There's a few IM players that came onto the scene, the Yonghuas, the First, but First, he really made a name for himself. He was one of the strongest players to come out of nowhere, seemingly. And he's done a very good job. And right here, it looks like he's here to stay. Nobody looks like they can beat him right now.
Yeah. Just going back to their round of 32 results, we said earlier on, First came through that one 4-0 in all. The only other player that did that was Grubby. When you look at the players, Stardust 2-0, Baby Knight 2-0. That's very impressive form from the round of 32.
A bit of a retired Baby Knight, but it was only a week retired. But the Stardust, he's been practicing in Korea as well in the CJ house, I believe.
Yeah, we were talking to him earlier. He's been in the He reckons he hasn't been practicing, but he's been watching a lot. So I don't know if that's the same thing.
It's the same thing. I think for Protoss, actually, speaking to Wellmu, a lot of their training is just studying builds and builds to do. So that, I'm going to take it as training in my eyes.
Yeah, me too. On the other hand, MaNa, round of 32, lost to Bling early on, 2-0, then beat KR 2-1, or KR, and then had to beat Bling again and did so to win 2-0 to make it through. So much different travel through to the round of 16.
I'm going to treat that as just as good, though. Like losing your first match 2-0, learning from it, then beating a relatively unknown guy, Kerr, but he's actually very good on the ladder.
He's very good.
Then coming back and beating Bling 2-0. That just shows that he's a player that's learning and adapting as things go on, which that's a scary player. And a player that learns and can adapt, yeah, there's no telling what he can do this series.
Right. Thank you very much to Muslim. Going to head on over to our commentary team now of Kalaris and Apollo for our upper bracket game, the first player in Group C. Who's it going to be? Where's your money? Is it on MaNa or is it on the birthday boy? Let's find out.
All right, series number 4 of the day will determine who goes through in first place. And oh boy, is it an exciting one, as a guy who is first is looking on fire right now, looking to claim the round of 16. But can the Polish player upset him?
No.
All right, well, there you go. It's done. GG, well played. Oh, let's get into the game number 1 then to confirm our suspicion that it might be a little bit more hard-fought than that, as we now have First and MaNa playing off against each other. Frost will be our first map, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss, representing South Korea. It's First. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss, representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa.
MaNa's had some talks with Grubby on, you know, a little couple of things here and there that may or may not prove useful coming into this series. We'll see, as Grubby is sticking around to cheer for him, to hope he can still advance. There are 2 slots available between, or 1 more slot available, sorry, between, no wait, 2 slots available between these 3 players. So the odds are there to go through, but he's got to beat at least one of these 2 Koreans. Which one doesn't matter. He can get it, MaNa.
That was good.
Is it going to be the Protoss one or the Zerg one, though? That's the difficult one to answer.
The Protoss one might be difficult, because First right now is looking very, very strong. Now, MaNa, on the other hand, you know, we saw him do all right against Grubby eventually during that series. But First, he is, again, he's looking to stamp his claim on this tournament. He's looking to advance far. Even, you know, the final is quite easily in his range at the moment. Let's see if he can contend with MaNa to start things off.
All right, well, when MaNa played this map earlier today, it was the Oracle into Blink. Dedicated, executed well build against Grubby. So we'll see if he wants to do the same on this map or if he has other plans to try to use against First. Because remember, while MaNa was playing versus Grubby, First was watching and just chilling and kind of understanding a little bit more if he didn't already know how MaNa plays.
And that's always a big boon to him. Unfortunately, MaNa really wasn't able to look too much at First PvP from this round, at least, as he was obviously playing Golden to begin with. So
I might have looked at his games in the round of 32. Most of these competitors do watch their competition play. But of course, it's a new day. It's weeks after First actually played, so it's hard to pick up. But most will come in through ladder play, most likely. They both play at the top of Grandmasters, so...
And also, to be fair, there wasn't a huge amount to study of First in the round of 32, because he breezed through. He was, well, 2-0, okay, 2-0, okay, right, I'm done.
He was a killer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So identical so far, exactly the same openings from both, even the same scouting patterns. But it is First who's going to get a little bit of a faster scout as he now enters the base, but is denied all information anyway. So MaNa's attempt will also get denied at this time, but MaNa throws down the Twilight Council first. He went Stargate Oracle first in the previous series when he played PvP, but this time Twilight.
What he's first going to do is the big question. We've seen him go Stargate quite a bit, actually. And
looks like an expansion.
Yeah,
at the moment.
With
Stalker
the Sentry.
He could go later tech here, but I'm expecting an expansion from him. Blink can work here, and with MaNa's Mothership Core coming into Scout, he will know very early.
Yeah.
And now he can start to build a plan against this. He knows it's going to be an expansion. He's actually looking to try and get this Stalker. If that was a Sentry, the Sentry would have been in a lot of trouble, but he's going to get a bit of damage done to the Stalker anyway. That's a good start. Very good start.
Very good Mothership control as well there during that, and he might even still get it.
2 hits away.
Oh, he actually doesn't focus down on it. He could have got maybe 1 or 2 more shots there. And, oh!
Well, he picks off the Stalker for the Mothership core there. The Stalker gets in now. Has a look. What is this? One gateway. Oh, well. Okay, that was awkward.
Yeah, that was anticlimactic for that poor Stalker. Oh, and even saves the probe that it was focusing down. So a Stalker for a Mothership core.
The Stalker for a Mothership core, but it was 2 Stalkers for a Mothership core, so it's not as good at all.
Yeah,
4 gateways come down for MaNa, and he has a probe and pylon out on the map. I think, personally, it's going to be very hard to break this. Obviously, he's looking to break with 4 gateways. Robo, just in case, because he didn't know the follow-up of his opponent.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be very, very difficult to break. Double photon overcharge available, robotics facility on the way, so we can start to build Immortals very soon. Granted, some of the energy will be used for Hallucinated Phoenix soon because he doesn't know what he's playing against and needs that info. But still, I think this is hard to knock down. But
yeah.
MaNa has to find a way. Well, we did yesterday. Now it's MaNa's turn.
And there's... Technically, he already has quite a few sentries out already, so the force field energy he's going to have in during all of this is, going to be banking up. He's eventually going to be able to section off army if it wants to try and push through. Right. Of course, yes, there is blink, but you don't want to be blinking offensively too much unless you're trying to grab Immortals.
But the scout's late from first, only just now getting over there. Immortal has been made, but that needs to be chrono boosted out here. He's going to spot the Stalker, so he will have to activate Photon Overcharge on the natural, and he's going to spot no Nexus on his opponent, so...
Doesn't want to be losing those expensive units. Those sentries are very, very important here. Loses one of them. A good force field to deny the push forwards there from MaNa onto the ramp.
Yeah, not the best start here, not the best start at all, but he needs more Immortals out. He needs 2, if not 3, for the comfortable defense. But right now, he's nowhere near.
Looking to stay away from the high ground is MaNa whilst he pushes forwards, which is a good start.
Nice pylon pick off.
Yeah, grabs one thing.
One Immortal's out, but MaNa will probably jump soon on this. He has to jump before the second one's out, otherwise it gets way too difficult.
And first, meanwhile, is always keeping eyes on... Oh, well, no, he's not anymore. As that observer does get picked off. And now also MaNa can see exactly what's going on in the main. He can get a good gauge of the Immortal count. He can see exactly what's going on. He actually offensively blinks upwards here. If first was to try and seize the issue and go for him before that blink was off cooldown again, then maybe it would have worked out with the 2 Immortals now here, but it's off cooldown now, so he can actually blink out from this, the 2 Immortals. He's not going to blink aggressively onto them because he just doesn't have the numbers. He was
not much done
already.
there for MaNa. Remember, there's another Photon Overcharge to be used.
A 3rd Immortal's about to pop as well. If he doesn't go to work on that count very, very soon, it's going to become overwhelming.
All right, time for the good old trick. Jump in the main, find some room, and then force field the ramp to pick off the Nexus. The good old-fashioned trick here, but it's going to be difficult to make work. He's got to get in the main, and he's got to get out again. Because he needs to get in the main to drag the army of first there. He actually blinks down.
Oh, that was a nice blink to kill that Stalker off the front. But again, all this time that First is buying is giving him the perfect defense. Apart from, of course, if he does get trapped by that force field, as
Remember, MaNa sees the army on the ramp, so he could not even need to blink in the main. He needs to somehow get this army off that ramp so he can force field it. Nice blink again by MaNa.
But now there's 4 Immortals.
God, there's no way he's fighting heads up.
Oh,
he needs to win this now or it's too late.
Even if you try and blink on top of those, it's going to be a catastrophe. He's got to be very, very careful about how he does this. He actually starts focusing on one of the Immortals. The force fields are actually really, really good here for MaNa. But at the same time, with getting 2 of those Immortals, can he keep powering through? He's keeping a lot of his Stalkers alive at the moment.
There was no reason for First to go too far out there.
Yeah.
And now he's got to turn around and fight.
Getting another Immortal. There's only one of them left. I can't believe that MaNa's actually been given this basket of opportunity here. And he's, the Stalker numbers were dwindling, but he's still up in terms of army vastly. 11 Stalkers against 6, with 4 Immortals killed off by that many Stalkers. That was the best way MaNa could have engaged into this army.
MaNa's chasing the last Immortal.
It's going to fall very, very fast, and he's warped in a few Zealots here to be able to buffer for these Stalkers as well. The Stalkers numbers are relatively even, actually, with those Zealots coming down, but... Again, blinks too much.
He blinks aggressively. He's going to do it here. MaNa's able to break the defense, even though it looked like it wasn't going to be broken. He's got into the probe line. Even if that Immortal pops out, he jumps on top of it again, and there is not enough support. MaNa.
Very, very nice. The 6th Immortal in this game falls. GG. MaNa takes game number 1. And I've got to ask, Sean, what possessed First to walk out so far?
Feeling comfortable and confident. He had 4 Immortals and he no longer needs to worry about MaNa. But then he got cut up, and then he did have to worry, and he lost the game. It's that simple.
That's the first time he sweated all day.
Yeah, it is. It's the first time he sweated all season. MaNa is slowly becoming the player he used to be, which is so good to see. And I bring it up because I'm very proud of this. I predicted his first win, and he knows it, and it was on Twitter. It was months and months and months and months before it happened. 7 months, 6 months before it happened. I said that year he'd win it, and I was so happy about it. Because MaNa, for me, is a player who should be winning tournaments and should be the best non-Korean, in my opinion. I think he's got it within him to be that guy. And he showed it that year in 2012.
When he was.
He was one of the best. 2013 started good, but then went very sour. But in 2014, he's working hard. He's on Team Liquid. They believe in him. And he's starting to put the results back. He's now 1 map away from getting to the top 8 in first place here.
All right, let's get into it then as MaNa and First play against one another. MaNa 1 game away as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. Let's send something over into the middle of the map. He's our red Protoss representing South Korea. It is First.
I can't believe he's doing this.
Balls of steel.
Every single game MaNa scouted against Grubby.
And up to the top left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. 1 game away from the round of 16. It is MaNa. Round of 8.
It's okay. It's all hot and
it's very hot.
Hot and flustered in here, I know. All right. This got scouted. So the main and the natural got scouted by MaNa. I have a feeling that Grubby was the one that scouted up here, not MaNa.
Perhaps.
First is risking this a lot, because if this gets scouted...
No, wasn't it MaNa? Because he then came down with his probe and missed that pylon that was in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, we'll see if he scouts now. He checks the right-hand side, nothing. Checks the left, nothing. You can go down and check the natural now, or you could go back to mine and then do after the gases.
Yeah.
But obviously, the later this is, the worse it is.
I noticed that First is doing a build that isn't exactly, you know, I mean, it is very, very heavy committal here, but it's the gas variation.
It's like a fast zealot, because obviously the Cybercore's not down. But MaNa, I don't care about the build of First. I'm looking at MaNa if he scouts this, and he's going to scout.
It's the way he went last time.
Really good pickup here, and he sees this now. And what you can know is that at this stage of the game, the Cybercore is going to be placed at home, not over here, obviously. So the focus is going to be on Zealots first. And if you focus on Zealots first, that your Cybercore's delayed. So the Cybercore is going to be in the lead for MaNa, but he's finished 2 gases, which is the problem because it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
But he really needs to deal with the first Zealot or 2, and then really push his lead in a better way.
Good reaction times there by MaNa, really keeping an eye on this, keeping that probe alive and wasting the time a little bit of that Zealot, which is very important here.
I think he's doing fine so far. I mean, he's going to match the Zealot. He has another Chrono Boost soon. Not as much as First, so that is a problem.
And if he needs it, he has probes to buffer, right? So
but he has 150 gas in the bank already, Mothership Core and Stalker. So he's actually not looking too bad there. He needs the Mothership Core out fast and needs the Stalker out fast.
And he's still working on that pylon.
And if that goes off, remember, he has to destroy the probe.
Yeah.
And the probe can go away, come back and do it again until the Stalker's out to kill it early. So this is really cool by MaNa. But it's buying him time. Mothership Core, Photon Overcharge, Stalker's going to be on the way.
Yeah,
the probe's going to go back in before the shields even come back online.
If he just keeps zapping it from time to time, then the shields aren't going to start recharging.
Yeah, this is very good understanding of what I need to do to stop this attack.
Yeah,
from MaNa. Very good.
He has a good opportunity here if he continues on to actually play this game out brilliantly. I mean, behind this is adding on a second gateway. He's found the room to do this. Any forces that come out for First are going to be slow compared to what we're seeing from MaNa.
Yeah, I mean, MaNa's got more units, so it's simply a fight he wins easily.
Yeah.
And First knows that. He's sacrificing Zealot to go find out what the tech is behind this for MaNa, which is blocked for a little bit there.
Yeah.
He's going to try and scout it. Yeah, he did take damage on his Stalker to get the info because he wasn't focusing very heavily on his Stalker. He gets 1 probe, sees another gateway. But behind this, 3 gateways and a much more faster focus on Warp Gate. Well, actually, it's not too different between the both of them. Actually, MaNa's got a lead. So I noticed First was focused on his Warp Gate research for a long time here, 3 gateways.
But one gateway being shut down, that's a big investment. I mean, 150 minerals at the end, it's pretty annoying here for first.
Yeah, the gateway's turned off. So it's 2 gateway versus 2 gateway, basically, but Twilight Council in the lead for MaNa.
And
the only thing he doesn't know is what really is going on behind closed doors. What is First doing? But he might use his 2 Stalkers and 2 Zealots to go find out while going up to Blink or something here.
He's already traded really effectively. He's going to throw down a pilot. He's probably just going to Blink or, like, attack this.
Yeah, I like Blink while doing this. Blink, pressure, then finish the guy off once you've got Blink done.
Yeah.
Pressure him, slow him down, then finish. But so far, MaNa's in the driving seat to actually be first place. And I actually quite surprised, but also very happy at the same time.
Yeah, likewise. This is pretty impressive. Needs to control that and
Perfect control so far. Perfect.
Yeah. This army is actually really quite scary. He's going to force out a photon overcharge. There's unless he delays and delays and delays, but there's the photon overcharge already. So good start by MaNa because you know that's going to diminish the energy that's actually there for when Blink is finished, and he's good to go with that assault.
Right, but he's losing 2 Stalkers now for nothing. Just lost 2 for nothing. So a nice lead for first, but now the lead is equal again. But of course there will be a new warp in a second. Whoa!
Tries to push up. Those Stalkers were weakened.
2 for 1. Doesn't quite get the other one. So the overall net loss, 1.
Thank you, financial advisor Apollo.
Yeah, 1 down for MaNa, not 2 now.
All right, there goes the Zealot.
Blink's almost done. He's chrono boosting.
And there is Blink about to finish for first, but just a little bit behind MaNa. So if he can hit that very small window.
Count, 7 to 5. Mothership core by MaNa's here as well, with time warps to help in the fight. And he's currently increasing. 8 to 7. About to be 8-8, but there is a sentry. Mothership core adds a bit into this. It's very close between them, but there is a 4th gateway from first. Riskier, but gains what he needs to against this army.
He's actually hitting a timing here where he didn't have Blink there for a second, so it at least gets 1 Stalker. A second Stalker falls, time warps it there, but now we have Blink in possession of first as well. So
9 to 8. Very close between the both.
Yeah. Used an offensive Blink there actually to get 1 Stalker and then use the high ground to deal with that. Actually got the Mothership core during all of that.
9-9.
Very, very close. Very tense. There's no Mothership core for first.
This is over. This is over for MaNa.
Yeah.
It's
difficult to break.
It's almost equal. He does not have high ground advantage. You can't break this. He starts probing again. So now the Dark Shrine comes in. He can't break a guy who's on high ground with less or equal Stalkers. So DTs. So I like this because obviously it's an instant win currently.
He's got to make it look like he's playing out a normal game, though, somehow.
Right. He doesn't want to show that this is a very easy follow-up to think that could happen. So, but the problem is, first is going for a kill, right? He's got 4 gateways. He's all in. He's going to try and overtake because he knows MaNa's backed off. So first is now going to go to that back-off state with more Stalkers. The problem is, MaNa has no pylon out. Oh, but he snuck a probe.
Oh.
Snuck a probe.
Yes, he did.
MaNa needs to go back. He needs Mothership core and Photon Overcharge, which isn't ready yet. He's dead in the water in the middle of the map right now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that it was 4 gateways. Oh, boy.
He needs to get away. He needs to get away from that middle location.
Oh, man, he's in so much trouble. He should be at home. He's expecting these units to come through the middle. He has no idea they're there. Oh, he just blinked!
But he's not gonna have any Blink against this. He's gonna lose so many Stalkers. Oh, dear
and
me.
Even when he blinks, first can follow. The Dark Shrine is the only hope right now. He's lost the Stalker war by double. The Robo's coming in because he's starting to realize this is the only thing that is keeping him alive.
Yeah. And also, like, why do you have so few Stalkers off this, and why is there no Nexus down as well? Things are lining up for him. He blinks forwards, he kills off Stalker after Stalker. Dark Templars, you're going to have to do a whole lot here. It's the only key MaNa has left.
The DTs need to get on that robotics facility straight away. The options of MaNa, I mean, it's one option. Kill the robotics facility before the Observer comes out, but I think it's too late. He warps in a DT to defend, I would imagine. But these 2 DTs... Chop, 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 chop. Another Robo's being built somewhere on the other side of the map. Very smart from first.
Very, very smart.
Trying to turn the pylon off for the robotics facility.
He will actually turn the first one off. That's a nice start, but you can't get to the second one. Yeah.
Photon Overcharge is active, and the probes are fighting into this Stalker.
Actually, the Stalkers got themselves in a rather odd spot and did take a lot of damage.
Two DTs will chase, and they Depends on where they chase. If Ferg went back down the ramp, they'd find it.
He didn't go down. You're right. That's very, very important. He blinks once again into the probes. He's taking a lot of damage there. That robot facility, though, will finish pretty soon. How many workers has he got? He's got 15 left.
As long as he keeps a few stalkers left, that's all he needs.
Yeah.
There's the observer.
He just keeps playing ring around the rosy. Oh, actually, he's just going to run back. Yeah, it's way too late.
MaNa's dead. Observer's out, and he knows now. He's like, oh, god damn it.
There's a second one. Oh,
no!
Well. There's the observer. Bye-bye, DTs.
GG. Good game from both. Unfortunately, MaNa very close to edging out, but he can't stop this now. He actually can't stop these stalkers.
Yeah, it's just going to be, well, I guess they're just going to try and kill off building after building. First has technically enough money for one pylon elsewhere on the map, but
he's got his robo and pylon there.
Yeah, exactly.
MaNa warps in his last couple of units before everything gets turned off. Zealot and Stalker. Probes are coming off to help as well. MaNa's not just going to give it up. There's a small percentage it's still possible.
It's pretty small, though. It's pretty
very small. I mean, first sits on this robotics facility in pylon. There's absolutely no way that MaNa can stop it.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to do anything from there on. But MaNa's going to try and keep his hopes alive. He doesn't know the full extent of exactly what's going on elsewhere on the map. Well, actually, he should know quite a bit.
He's actually going to chase down the DTs, notice.
Yeah.
But that does mean that the Stalker Zealot gets towards the pylon and robo. But there's more than, you know... They've got a lot of work to do, let's say.
Yeah, first person on MaNa here, just seeing how he exactly sees this.
He's like, all right, how can I win this game?
Yeah. He's trying to do what we said, but you know, there's only so much you can do in this situation, especially when your Nexus just died to probes. And here come the Stalkers to clean this up.
Yeah. GG. 1-1.
All right. Well, that ties up the series. A ambitious play there by MaNa to try and transition onto the Dark Templars, and it maybe could have worked if he'd have sat at his main and held the ramp a little bit better, but being caught out in the middle of the map like that, with your blink off on cooldown whilst your opponent has it, it's tough. Tall order.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but a good series so far. And I smell pizza. This is unfair.
Yeah, I smell pizza too. All right.
All right. Game 3.
Oh, look at these guys.
Oh, it's Pepperami as well.
Pepperami?
Stay focused, Apollo.
Stay focused.
Don't let the other parts of your body take control of your mouth.
They were now wafting pizza smell towards us. This really isn't fair.
It's okay. I'll probably say no to the pizza anyway because I'm actually really stubborn about what I eat.
Yeah, you're really disciplined.
Alpha.
You're pretty disciplined with that kind of stuff, I must admit.
But it does smell amazing. That's the main point here.
I think you only eat chicken and broccoli. That's about it.
I am a caveman. What can I say? I am a caveman. You should see where I live. You should see what it looks
Your
like.
man cave.
My man cave.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, it's like a caveman who's living in 2014. There is a lot of beer bottles.
Wow.
Counterintuitive diet. All right. So third map, Overgrowth. 1v1 map. You know, first is very capable of doing all-ins. Likewise is MaNa, who has shown it in the past, in the previous rounds. But this is for first place right now. A single map to determine who goes through as the #1 from Group C.
And it also determines who falls down for that second chance, and they're going to have to play against a Zerg, a formidable one at that, in Golden. First already beat him, but can MaNa if he falls? We'll find out now. One of these players is advancing on to the round of 16. Overgrowth is our map. Let's jump right on in, as we have, spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, our red Protoss. Hailing from South Korea, it is first. And up to the top right, we have our blue Protoss. Representing Team Liquid, it's MaNa.
Okie doke. Time to figure out what's going to happen in game #3.
Sounds lovely. You can still smell the pizza, can't you?
Yeah. All right, so we've clearly established. There's no early rushes going to happen yet. 3 gateway pushes and single gas builds are really uncommon. People do scout a lot in this matchup. You know, that's why proxies aren't as successful right now. The way the game shifted in the last 6 months or so is a lot heavier focus on scouting, because there wasn't for a long time. And then you see scouting inside the main, inside the natural, even inside your opponent's base, because then if you do see the kind of rush that's coming, you can actually stop it quite easily. It's all about knowing it's happening.
Yeah, and then capitalize and pretty much guarantee yourself a win if you control it properly and hold on right. That's a big thing. If you can get, in essence, I don't want to call it a free win, but if you can get an easier win during one of these series, then why on earth not? And
Double gas. Single gas by MaNa, but I'd expect the later one. Good scouting from MaNa, but lack of scouting from First, who is basically telling all of us, screw you, Europe. I don't care what you're going to do earlier on, and is not going to scout anywhere. So if MaNa had decided to do a proxy, trouble.
Trouble. There's the cybernetics core being added on for First, and likewise MaNa will be a bit of a weird game without him, but here comes MaNa's probe now to have a little bit of a look around. He's going to try and gauge exactly how much gas is there, what's going on.
So through the 2 builds here, we see First, if you follow with me right now, the gas is a little bit in the lead for First. He's also got a faster cyber core and a second gateway. Like, there's a couple of things he just has that MaNa doesn't. As I say that, there is a second gateway for MaNa, so screw the last thing I said. But the gas is better, and also the cyber core is faster. Just because he didn't scout and didn't really focus on wasting a probe's work to look around. But where does this go from here? Both chrono boosting into the Nexus, one chrono boosting from First into the gateway. MaNa is actually throwing that into the mothership core here. So a more cautious approach from MaNa. Obviously getting the mothership core out faster means energy is stored faster, means you can use the mothership core for photon overcharge, whereas First got a unit out a little bit faster here. So what's the next part here? Both on 2 gateways. They're on 2 gateways.
Yeah. I guess it probably will equalize out to the point where both of them will just want to try and establish an expansion. 2 sentries on the way for First.
Yeah, that's definitely an expansion play coming in. That sinks all his gas and leaves his minerals high. Whereas MaNa is double Stalker.
Now,
and chrono boost into double Stalker.
From MaNa's position with this many Stalkers, can he really do much to First?
Only with the 4th and 5th Stalker. There's a 3rd gateway. MaNa's going to try 3 gateway pressure.
Okay.
The faster the Nexus, the better it is, because the faster the Nexus for First, the easier it is to be able to photon overcharge it against this.
Yeah.
So First tries to scout, sees gateway units, which I suppose is the 2nd and 3rd Stalker, but he doesn't know if it's a 4th and 5th on the way, doesn't know if a tech was thrown down instead of the 3rd gateway here, so he's a little bit in the dark. 4 sentries total. He will throw down a tech choice next, which will probably be Robo, but he's on 4 sentries to defend. Robo must come in because he needs to get a Mortal/Observer. But MaNa's going to try this. The problem is, I think it's going to be quite hard to get success again.
Yeah, I mean,
like it could have been on the first map.
The Nexus is halfway done by now. Even if the Stalkers start working on it, it's going to be very near completion, and that's without dancing against units at the front. So,
and First isn't playing greedy. 3rd gateway straight in as well, not cutting or doing anything here.
Robo being added on, so he can eventually get those Immortals out if he wants to deal with it. That's a lot of Stalkers that are coming along.
Stalkers, if they go now, can get damage done and maybe even weather the Photon Overcharge Storm to bring the Nexus down.
So we may end up having to see a cancel here. He sees those Stalkers out of range with that pylon on the high ground.
So he knows, First knows what he's got to do. He's got to Photon Overcharge, defend the ramp, try to get damage done. Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's one of the most amazing force fields. They did a lot of second unit through.
If he does this right, he could get a lot of units because he's trapped them in.
Yeah, the Stalker's pretty isolated at this point. So in essence, they do actually work out. The extra Stalker's going to try and walk through though. Getting out range from Function Overcharge. He loses the ramp. You're right. He tries to pull probes off to deal with this. He's actually killed off a lot of the Stalker numbers. First here is going to be able to hold on against that with the Nexus intact.
And Immortal too. Great hold there. Interesting. Really interesting way to hold that. I haven't seen that before. Trapping them in to then get the damage with the Photon Overcharge to bring probes to use his units and sacrifice to hold off. And now it's 3 gateways versus a Photon Overcharge and still intact the Mothership core and an Immortal. This is not going to work, MaNa. Plan B must start now.
Yeah, Immortal and Sentries were in production here, so maybe he's just going to try and cut things off at the front because everything is being committed still to Army.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard.
So sick from first.
Yeah, that was. I mean, MaNa almost had no choice but to start committing through up the ramp after the force fields are gone.
I mean, this... Where's the Nexus, MaNa?
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't Nexus, you have to all in.
He's going to try, I think. It's just going to be...
Sentries hidden, Immortal.
Yeah.
He's going to all in. Excuse me.
It's going to be difficult, very difficult. With the Army lead that First already had after that, with the Immortal he already had out after that.
It's not going to work. This can't work. Surely. The odds of this working so incredibly low. First has energy now. Unless he's caught out in the open, this works.
Yeah. Especially if he had a good number of Zealots with it and it was in the open where he couldn't use his force fields himself. Stalkers know where this army is. First is being really ambitious with this.
If MaNa chops this up properly with the force fields he has on his high ground ramp, then maybe this can work.
This is a little bizarre. I'm surprised he's being so active.
Yeah, because he's expecting the Nexus to be there, that's all.
Yeah, so he was looking to chop it up in the front.
Yeah, MaNa first was looking to do that, but it's not there. And this might work. First goes in, he's like, woohoo! Woohoo!
Run away.
Whoa, 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 cancel! Get the hell out of here! This guy's on one base!
Uh-oh, Stalkers, you're going to die very fast as those Mortals just recalls out. It doesn't even matter.
Get out of there, Cloris!
He got out. It's okay. Oh, no. Actually, no, he didn't. There's quite a few units here that are still running away.
He's like, what the hell is going on? This is not meant to be what's going on.
It's very, very strange.
He's chrono boosting another Immortal out. He's back at home. He's got 2 Immortals. He should be fine, but it was just the... Woohoo!
Attempted force fields were a letdown there for MaNa as First now. He has the high ground.
Yeah.
Oh.
So as MaNa walks up here, I'd love Sentries to be walked in to cut this all up into nice bite-sized pieces, but MaNa's going to walk up there and go...
No!
God damn it.
It's going to be like Star Wars all over again. He has the high ground. You can't win, MaNa. This is a disaster. All the Stalkers going to fall. First has the perfect army to deal with this and the perfect position. And that's pretty much going to do it. MaNa tried, but... it wasn't there.
It wasn't enough, and it looks like the player with the name goes through in what? First place.
First. Good job. Congratulations to him. Group C here as he advances in first place onto the round of 8, which is where we expected him to be, but it was a bit shaky in that series.
Yeah, that was pretty fun, actually. That was a good series. Unfortunate for MaNa, couldn't get the easy route into the round of 8, but now has one, and I know he's already thinking about it. One task. All right, whatever. This guy's good. First, he's good. I gotta beat Golden. 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 And we can all say together, in the history of MaNa's StarCraft career, against Zerg has not been his finest, and he's not enjoyed that matchup the most. We can just put that and say that now. So it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all.
No, that's true. That is true, especially with how Golden has shown his play throughout this group so far. It did okay against First, but again, First is a machine in these situations, and then dispatched of Grubby pretty well. He's gone far. I mean, I said it before. I said it in around 32. First is going to do very, very well this season. There's definitely some tall tasks to conquer here. Vortex, 4GG, Welmu, and MC are the 4 players who have already gone through along First. It's not an easy group of players. But I think he can do well in the round of 8. That's true. Now that you mention it, the round of 8 is actually stacking up to be fantastic with who we've got already in there. But for now, guys, we can hear from the 5th player in the round of 8. It's First.
Indeed we can, yes, with First. Let's talk about the game and the way it played out. Your first map, did you expect that kind of aggression from MaNa?
첫 번째 맵에서 마나 선수가 엄청 공격적으로 했는데 그런 걸 좀 예상했었는지?
예상하긴 했는데 프로토스 대 프로토스가 빌드 차이가 좀 심하기 때문에 생각만 하고 있었지 올 줄은 몰랐어.
Yeah, I kind of expected it, that he would play aggressive, but I just thought about it, but didn't really had the time to prepare.
Yeah, I mean, your first response was 4 Immortals. It looked like a decent response, but then his force fields were perfect, managed to just isolate those 2, and it was gone from there, I guess.
What was the question?
Just you know, Was that where the point that he thought it had lost, or did he think it was lost earlier?
이제 처음에는 좀 대비를 잘하는 것 같았었는데 마나 선수가 또 공격적으로 계속 밀어붙이다 보니 졌잖아요. 그때 무슨 생각이 들었는지, 그리고 이제 방어를 하면서 무슨 생각이 들었는지.
제가 나가다가 그 불멸자를 잡혀는 바람에 갑자기 그때 불리하다고 생각해갖고 좀 방심한 게 있어갖고 좀 침착하게 하자 그래갖고 첫 번째 판은 솔직히 그때 포기했던 것 같아요.
I think it was over when I went out with my units, and then he caught me off guard and got this one immortal for free. So after that, I kind of already gave up.
Okay, second map and the third map, much better from you as well. You pretty much worked out exactly what MaNa was going to do. When you move on now, as you have done, it's a great birthday gift, by the way, and happy birthday. When you move into the quarterfinals, is there a player in there that you want to play, a player that you don't want to play?
다음 라운드에서 이제 만나고 싶은 선수가 있는지 하고 또 만나기 싫은 선수가 있는지.
솔직히 1등에서 기분 좋아야 되는데 솔직히 1등하면 2등 만나는 사람이 지금 포지지 형 아니면 MC 형이 있는데 솔직히 만나기 껄끄러운 두 사람인데 솔직히 둘 다 만나기 싫은데 어쩔 수 없었으니까 1등 하긴 했는데 기분은 썩 그렇게 좋지 않은 것 같아요.
I should be really happy to be placed first in this group, but actually now I have to face 4GG or MC in the next round, so I'm not sure about this.
Okay, well, best of luck, and as I said, happy birthday. It is his 21st today, and what a better birthday present he's given himself than the first position in Group C. Let's check in with the Muslim now to find out exactly how he did it.
Hello guys, over at the analysis desk we just had a 2-1 victory for first over MaNa, but there is one point in this series that totally blew my mind. I just want to go over here. So here, if we start the replay, Funker, we see first has an expansion here. He just set off his photon overcharge, so it's working really well. Can't attack into the natural without getting shot. Here, MaNa using aggressive blinks, just dealing damage wherever he can. And MaNa, he's at a big deficit here. His economy isn't as good. His army actually isn't as good either. So at this point, you're kind of worrying, how does MaNa actually get back into this game or even win this game? It's quite troublesome. Immortals are incredibly stocky. His economy's doing well. Here, MaNa just picking off Stalkers one by one. And at this point in time, you're thinking, hey, like, this is actually doing pretty well. And then first, he marches out here. 4 Immortals, but we look at what MaNa does. Here, we resume the replay. First, didn't expect MaNa to be there. Then some great force fields land, separating all of the Immortals. So 2 Immortals, very, very, very susceptible to damage. So MaNa immediately takes out a huge portion of firepower for first. There's no Photon Overcharge available at this time. All these Blink Stalkers being micro-backed very, very well by MaNa. First gets into a nice position, but MaNa, again, takes advantage of his Blink micro and just aggressive. Takes out the other portion of first firepower here. Takes out the Mothership core as well. So great, great, great Blink micro and just taking advantage of first being out on the map. And again, this is where things just spiral out of control for first. Continuously blinking on top of those big damage units like Immortals. Then he's left with normal Stalkers against his Blink Stalkers. Manages very, very well here. You could have thought, hey, let's go into the main, but no. Just pounces on the rest of the army. The probes are pulled, and at this point in time, it's really over first. MaNa pulled it out of his bum, quite literally, and that is it for the analysis.
Thank you very much to Muslim. Yes, nicely done on that first map from MaNa. Sadly, it wasn't quite enough, though, as first came through to make a comeback and win 2-1. He is the first man in first place to go out of Group C in first. There's enough firsts in there for anyone, I'm sure. We're going to find out after the break who goes through in second place. Don't forget you can interact with us via all the usual social media channels. Make sure you're hitting up the official StarCraft channel on Facebook and also following StarCraft on Twitter at StarCraft. Make sure you use the hashtag #WCS as well. If you want to send us any more pictures, please feel free to do so. Some of them have been very funny. Thank you, you swines. Some of them have also been pretty poor. So you've got to step the game up if you want some free stuff. I might just find some goodies in the back there for you to be sent out if we find another one that we like. You've got to beat that one before, though. The boss first so far is winning. Quick break now. When we come back, our final match in Group C is going to decide the last man through to the round of 8 from Group C. Don't forget tomorrow as well, we're back with more from Group D as well.